Okay, I would now entertain a motion for student discipline, please.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the findings of the board in student case number 22-22-1640 and 22-20-20-41.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Ihsa,
Yes.
Mrs. Terry,
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Wright,
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Dr. Ihsa.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. Elder Parks, our board member, is on business in Iowa, so we miss him, but he told us that he was going to be gone, so we can't wait to see him the next time. That brings us to item number 4, our consent agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the consent agenda?
No, sir.
Then I would entertain a motion for its approval.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Mrs. Terry,
Yes.
Mr. Ihsa,
Yes.
Mrs. Wright,
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Dr. Ihsa.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. That brings us to item number 5, public comments. Since we haven't taken names, if first come, first serve. I think we should have music, like they do at the evening shows. Da, 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 da. We could get that done. That'd be kind of cool.
Good evening, Board of Education.
Introduce
Dr. Geddes.
yourselves, please.
I'm Mr. Hightower from Mark Denman.
I'm Mrs. Grant from Mark Denman.
I'm
Thank
the
you.
assistant principal there. She's our ELL coordinator and our AVID coordinator. So we are here to talk about a couple events coming through over at Mark Denman. We have our College and Career Night on April 14th.
Pass it around.
And then we also have STEM Night. I'll let her talk a little bit more about the events that's going on because I have the idea. She puts it all together and I take credit for it. So I'll let her go.
Yes. That leads in perfect. I was going to say, Mr. Hightower every year pushes us to be bigger and better. And so this year, I'm excited to say we have 30 presenters coming to our College and Career Day next week, which is the most we've had in the 3 or 4 years that we've been doing it. So we have the U of I, Eastern, DAC, Aqua, and a whole plethora of others. So please, if you guys are free between 8:30 and 1, come on over and join us. We have a very tight schedule, so you'll be seeing kids hustling and bustling around and going back and forth. So we're very excited for that. Also, we have our STEM night right when we get back from the holiday weekend. So I'm going to also give you an invite to that. Come on by the U of I, the Worldwide Youth and Science and Engineering Department from the U of I will come over. This is the 3rd year that they've been coming to partner with us, and they host the whole event. So their students come with kits pre-made, ready for our kids to do, and they lead all the activities. So our families get to just sit down and engage with their students on a science experiment. And the kids love it. One year they dug chocolate chips out of a cookie as mining, and they made prosthetic hands, glow sticks in a jar, slime, which is everyone's favorite. But so every year they do a little bit something different, but it's just an awesome opportunity for our students and their families. So please, if you have time to mark your calendars, come on over.
And if you don't, it's fine because we'll be back with some students at the April 20th board meeting. They'll talk about all our events. So we'll
It'll be
back.
fresh
We'll
in
let
their
you know
minds
what-
too, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So thank you for your time. And
Yes.
Thank you.
enjoy your evening.
So STEM night's April 19th, Tuesday, 4:30 to 6.
Yep.
College Career Day. I wish someone would have introduced me back, started us early. Yeah. Who knows what we could have been. Any other public comments? Please.
Hello, everyone. My name's Alice Pollock. I was here last month to talk to you about Cannon School, and I just had a few more questions, if you wouldn't mind. I know that there's been stories and stuff in the paper about the school board possibly having a plan to spend somewhere in the lines of $8 million for KDBA for adding classrooms and everything. And I was just kind of wondering, has there ever been any consideration of maybe using that money towards Cannon, and including the demo money that was set, to demo it, putting those funds together and maybe, trying to save Cannon?
Well, usually public comments is you're telling us comments. It's
Oh.
usually not a give and take thing.
Oh, okay.
So we're here to listen to your comments and then we'll take them under advisement. How about
Okay,
that?
well, that was just one thought. Because I believe Canon was estimated to cost around 9 million. I think the estimate for KDBA was something like 8 million. So, some of us has been kind of wondering, is there still a possibility of saving the school in some way? Also, I don't want to read you my whole list, but one thing was it's already got more room than what KDBA does, I believe, as far as classrooms and things like that, and the historic value and just everything like that seemed like it would make a little more sense to maybe think about doing that. I don't have to tell you too much about with it being a historic site and also the architectural value to it, is really still important to a lot of members, here. It's something you see like when you come from Indiana, coming through Main Street. It's one of the biggest iconic things that you see in Danville. So, it's still pretty important to a lot of people. I also spoke to a few students that went to Cannon and was there when they closed it. One of them happened to go to KDBA. And that student said he wished he was supposed to be here tonight. He wanted to talk to you along with the other students that I talked to. He said he would like to see Cannon, redone, and he would like to move it to Cannon as well, because he originally had went to Cannon. Also thought that maybe there could be some possible way that the ESSR grant or CARES program funds could make up any difference. If there's a difference between, trying to get the building back into shape. I don't know if there's funds that might be able to make the difference up, if it's more than the 9 million that was originally spoke of. And then also, I read a story in the paper that Garfield School was also estimated to take about $9 million, to get it back on track and everything. And I heard that you guys were thinking about maybe giving it away to the children's home, the Cunning Children's Home. I am so sorry. I'm so nervous. Garfield School to the Cunningham Children's Home in Urbana. And a lot of us was wondering if that would have been or still could have been a consideration for Cannon, using it that way. We're just kind of hoping maybe you could, postpone the demo till, something could be looked at and see if there's another way to save Cannon.
Could we do this? Could I have Mr. Hart call you and so we could talk, because there's a lot of history about what Cannon actually costs to bring, and we would actually have 9 classrooms, and then what is required. So there's a lot of history that you're missing that we had in the discussion when we actually closed it that would really help you understand how we got there.
Okay.
And because this is not a give and take, but I want you to have that information and you'll be like, oh, that's how, that's the history behind it. Could I get you to give your phone number to
Do I have
Mr.
your
Hart
phone
so
number?
that,
Did you call and leave me a message?
No.
Okay, so leave your number.
well, don't do it out loud. We don't want to put it on tape.
So there'll be all kinds of people
774 666.
Leave it to Mr. Hart.
Really?
You're so interesting.
But I think that background information would really help, and then we would hope that you would take it back to everyone so that they would know what the history behind closing it actually was.
Okay, it's just, a lot of people in the community still care about that building and see it,
Trust me, we
as
understand.
something that should stand another 100 years or so if possible. So, it means a lot to a lot of people, including, even kids. So, we're just trying to find a way to save it if it's still possible, so.
That's why we want to give you the answers.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to give you the information so that you can make that decision also yourself. Okay,
Okay.
so we're going to arm you with everything that
We
Mr.
know.
Hart ever knows.
Okay, thank you.
And
And
I know
No, thank
because-
you.
I know because you have told me this personally that you don't really speak in public. So I know how brave it was for you to come and speak about something that matters so much to you and on behalf of a group of people that matters so much. And that's what public comments are for. And we value it and we respect it, and thank you for doing that.
Any other comments? Great. Thank you very much.
wait.
Oh, come.
John Hendrickson from Danville. I've lived in Danville all my life, I guess. Both my children went to Cannon School. And I'd just like to support something to try to save Cannon School. When you look at the architecture of the building, it's a beautiful old building. I've not been inside. I don't know what the damage is inside, if any. But if there's any consideration whatsoever that we could use that building, once it's tore down, it's gone forever. But go look at the building, drive by it, look at it. The architect, oh wow, it's over 100 years old this year. Isn't there some way we can save that and preserve it for the future? Surely there's a need for it somewhere, that we could get some good out of that building rather than tear it down, spend millions of dollars somewhere else to build a more modern building when we got that sitting there. Just consider it, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So are you two together so that when we give her the information, she'll be able to give it to you, or do you need us to call you as well?
No, I think we can.
Y'all are all, okay.
Unless you want,
Do you want?
she wants to know it.
I'll probably call and have her come in and she can invite them.
Why don't we do
Like-
that's excellent. Why don't we do this? Mr. Hart's gonna call you and we'll invite the four of you in and we'll meet with you over there and we'll go through all of it for you. And then I'm gonna burden you with taking the information we give you and I want you to go tell everybody what we told you, okay? All right, Mr. Hart is gonna call you tomorrow and we'll make a meeting and we'll get together, okay? And I'll give you pictures and everything. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That'd be great, thanks.
Thank you.
I have a question. Future problem solvers wanted to do a presentation, but they were in the consent agenda. Should they speak under public comments?
Lord,
Ms. Woods?
Yeah.
you want to do a presentation?
It was in the consent agenda,
Yeah,
so
I wondered about that too. It said,
it was already approved, and I see the kiddos are here, so if they would like to say something, this would be the time.
Good catch.
could that be awesome? Or I was just gonna put it the next
well,
day, yeah, but
oh,
it,
you?
it works today.
Okay.
So thanks. Cause I saw that too, I went, oh, we need to.
Hi,
We need to hear from you.
Hi.
good evening. My name is Cece Brown, and this is Isaiah Easton. I'm sure you know his dad. So we're here to talk a little bit about our FPS project and hoping that you'll approve our trip to Massachusetts. Over the
FPS
summer.
is,
Future problem solvers. Yeah, future problem solvers.
that's for everybody, you know.
Oh yeah.
We
sorry.
know
For
here,
those of
but-
you who don't know, we're future problem solvers. We work out of Danville High School with Ms. Woods. So our project kind of started taking place in November, and we really wanted to look at the impact that COVID had on our community, specifically our veterans. Our veterans are beloved by this community, and it means a lot that we are able to help them. So what we're doing is creating a memorial garden, what we call our Never Forget Garden, out at the Legion and also at Cannon Place, which is a Mercy Housing Center. And to do some fundraisers, we have the new Globe Bingo, which we did March 4th, and we're going to be doing another one April 9th, which is this Saturday. So I'll let Isaiah tell you a little bit about that.
So we had one other Globe Bingo. It was in March. It's a lot of fun. People really enjoy it. Shannon knows, or Miss Schroeder, sorry. But yeah, it's at 7 p.m. Doors open at 5:30. Yeah, and if you could come out, if you could invite other people, that would be great. It's a lot of fun, and it really helps us get our project going, fund it. This one though, it's going to fund our trip to internationals.
So a couple other things we have done is we spoke on the radio. I believe that was Monday morning. Tommy B, at D102. We're just trying to do everything to get our project out to the community. Anyone that can help sharing a Facebook post. We have a Facebook page, Danville High School Future Problem Solvers. Anything we can do to get the word out, and anyone who would like to donate, it really means a lot to us and a lot to the community. All of our veterans, I know, we have had so many people reach out to us and just tell us how important and how inspiring this is, especially seeing teenagers who, you don't always see them doing a whole lot, but we want to make a difference. And we were lucky enough to win state, which means we get to go to internationals, and we are very excited about that. So I think that's all.
So you're fundraising for two different things. You're fundraising for your memory garden, gardens, there are two.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
And then you're fundraising for your trip,
correct.
which you weren't lucky enough to win. You earned the win statewide to be able to go to
I should say
international
that, yeah.
and represent Danville and Danville High School, which we're very proud of you for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Where will that be at?
Internationals is at UMass in Amherst. So it's about an 18-hour drive, I believe, which is quite a trip, but we're excited for it.
And when is that?
Glow Bingo is going to be hopefully
Just approved it. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
our Glow Bingo on
Everybody
Friday,
else.
Saturday is going to be hopefully paying for the gas bill for that trip. That is our primary goal for that. Because gas is expensive, especially now.
Is your Glow Bingo at the Legion
Yes.
on
Yes,
Jackson
it is.
Street
It
again?
is at the Legion.
By Northridge?
We're excited to have it at the Legion just because when we're building a garden there and we get to host some of our fundraisers there, so all of the people that are involved in the Legion get to come and see how we're fundraising and how we're sharing our project and all of that. So we're excited and just happy to be able to help.
Can you share what you did over the holidays at the VA? What's it
Oh,
called?
Cannon Place?
Yes, Cannon Place. Could you share what you did there?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to go ahead and tell them?
Oh, yes. So we did a bunch of fundraising. Northeast actually helped us with this. We set up a coffee bar on one of their blank walls in their community room. And someday in December, was it December? I think it was December. We got together, we got our entire team, we went there in a morning and we served them, we gave them food, cookies, we helped facilitate the coffee bar for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. All of the residents enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Especially opening up with COVID and being able to see people again. A lot of the veterans have not seen their family members and definitely have not seen visitors, so it was nice to be able to reach out and see.
She's just coming to fix a
Oh,
microphone.
sorry. Oh, thanks. Yeah. But the coffee bar, even though it sounds kind of, oh, it's just a coffee bar, it is very, very cute. And it really, yeah, it is very cute. We went to our local farmhouse downtown and bought a lot of the supplies. And Mad Goat Coffee was kind enough to give us some of the supplies and coffee grounds and stuff, which are delicious. So it was just a really, like, heartwarming thing to do around Christmas, too.
And that's permanent.
Yes,
You built
yeah,
it there
it'll stay there,
permanently
yeah.
for them. Yeah.
And we've definitely seen pictures and heard from Missy Taylor, who works at she's the director of the Mercy Housing Center. She sends us updates every now and then of the residents, like, using the coffee grounds and the machines and the teas and all that kind of stuff. So it's nice to see that they're using it, and, you know, that's what we want, is for them to be able to access it.
Great job.
Good job.
And I'm gonna make one plug for this. We got involved with Cannon Place because somebody tagged us that their food pantry and their essential closets were completely bare, like heartbreakingly bare before Thanksgiving. And these kids had another plan to do something for deceased veterans, and they kind of, I'll be honest, they all said, we're pretty sure dead veterans want us to take care of live veterans. And not only did they build the coffee bar in that time, but they took a food pantry that was empty and have kept it completely stocked and helped get other groups in there, and has, like, kept their essentials closet stocked too, so that they didn't have laundry soap, and it's very isolated at Cannon Place.
Mm-hmm.
And with COVID shut down, so they've kept that stocked, and they're forgetting to mention that they're also redecorating at Cannon Place, their computer room.
We've been doing a lot out at Cannon Place, yeah.
Yeah, so
They never get sick of us, it seems like. But
They've done a lot. I mean, they've blown me away with what they've accomplished since November. They just figure a way and everybody takes a job and then it gets done.
How many kids do you have in Future Problem Solvers?
This year we have 11 on the team.
Mhm.
And,
and all 11 of us, we pull our weight one way or another.
Yeah.
We're always doing something, whether it's somebody having some kind of supplies in their car and taking it places, or
For 3
somebody
weeks.
running with Miss Woods to Walmart to get more supplies, so that they have food and access to that in their pantry. And I really, again, bring up the Facebook page. We post everything that we do on there, and there's tons of pictures of before and afters and what we plan on doing with the garden. So I would definitely check that out.
This is a rich history of future problem solvers. I don't know if everyone knows that Mrs. Woods has had future problem solvers at both the high school and the middle school level for many years. And you're regulars at the international competition. And how many different teams have you taken to internationals, Mrs. Woods?
Oh, I'd have to count on my fingers.
Oh, she doesn't want to brag.
I know she doesn't. That's why we're making her.
I think this will be 12, because I had a couple of years with 2 teams.
I think that's quite a feather in our cap. And as a district, I think that our future problem solvers is just a jewel that we have in our district. And I thank you and your team for carrying on this tradition, and Miss Woods for her tireless efforts working with some incredible kids throughout the years.
Doing a nice job. And I will say, this whole thing, doing it in COVID, we've never done an international competition paper on Google Meets, but when we were all shut down and it had to be turned in, we were just all there typing away trying to figure it out. So they've blown me away, because this is the first year since year 1 I have no kids who have ever had any experience. So it's all new to them, and they have. This is a big project. Wait till you see this garden at the American Legion. It's not just a flower bed, is all I'll say. It is huge.
I'd like to put a plug in for your Glow Bingo. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm so glad.
I had a good time, and I was glad to support and get my extra bingo cards. But what I will say to people listening, get there early because it does fill up. And we don't want you standing outside, but we do want you to support, because these young people did an excellent job, raising that money. And it was, I did Glow Bingo before, but this one was a little different. And we had a good time. So, for a fundraiser to support, I think we should jump behind them. I can't be there, but I am going to buy tickets.
Thank you.
I will say real quick as a parent, the staff at the Legion was super impressed. They said that they usually do like 12 meals, maybe to 15 meals on a Friday night. And when we had Glow Bingo, how many did she say? 72 meals. They were overwhelmed with the amount of people that came, but mostly when they came in to check the room, she says, we've never come into a room and it was completely clean. The kids were sweeping the floor, they were making sure it was how they left it. She said, we don't have grown adults who come in and take care of the room like they did. So as a parent, super proud of them too.
Good job.
Can you just tell us the thing that you're helping the Legion get that relates to the flag that they didn't have before?
Oh,
that's your thing.
So yeah, okay. The center of the garden is, it's obviously going to have flowers, but the center of the garden is going to be a burn pit for flag retirements, because right now all they have is a small, undefined little spot next to the parking lot that, it's not very pretty. It's just there. So we wanted to redecorate it, make it look more ceremonial, and yeah, it's gonna look really cool.
It's actually gonna give them a social spot too, and they've designed it to be handicap accessible. They're not telling their fundraising and their ability to charm people, because we figured out the budget in January, right before we realized that to do all this was gonna be $25,000, and how much did we have to our name?
About 700. Yeah.
And we're about $1,500 away from paying and doing more in the gardens than we expected.
So much more than we first anticipated.
There's some people who have Danville Gardens are doing us a huge solid and donating the labor to dig out, because it's just grass. This is completely from scratch. And John Loverenz actually has a bunch of masonry materials left from the old armory. So it'll actually be an 8-foot diameter fire pit that they can use for just cookouts and things too. Nice. And he's donating all of that and all the labor. So that took about $7,000, thankfully, off of our bill.
Good. But it's really nice too to have people from the community reach out and say, we want to help. What can we do? And it's so incredible. Like again, how many people have reached out? Danville Gardens, and we had I'm sorry, I'm blanking his name. Steve Lane. Steve Lane came and drew us a professional landscaping diagram of the garden, and it looks so much better than the one that we drew, if you can believe that. So, yeah, we're just so excited to be doing this and so thankful for everyone who's given us the opportunity to share this. So,
Great job.
Great.
We're very
We
proud
look
of
forward to it. Thank you
thank
very,
you.
very much. Yes, sir.
I have a comment on Cannon School, if it's possible.
You are,
My name is Richard Drake.
thank you.
Never been to a board meeting of this kind at all.
Well,
so-
welcome.
Yeah, I would also went to Cannon School, my grade school years. I studied architecture as my U of I alumni. And it sounds like it's the demise of Cannon School from kind of what you're suggesting. But I'm thinking that maybe, if it's not possible to save it, as maybe it's been considered, that the stone entrance maybe be saved. It's cut stone. It's on a curve. There are 4 Gothic arches in there. It's all hand carved stone from 100 years ago. And that type of craftsmanship is just not made much anymore, and especially in Danville. The history of Danville buildings and uniqueness is disappearing quickly. So if it's possible to save maybe the entrance, maybe the flagpole, the sidewalk there, Danville's creating this corridor on Main Street for east to west, and it's kind of right on the bend there, and maybe that'd be a nice spot for something, I don't know, instead of just maybe a patch of land. But I would just think that would be a testament to the school and the community, and it's just something that it's unbelievable how Danville history is being wiped away. So that's just kind of my suggestion for maybe keeping the memory of Cannon School for a while and the history of the school in the city. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I add to that? One thing I was going to suggest, and I think I brought this up last month, was maybe leaving the front curvature of the building standing. But I think it was said that it would be kind of hard, since it's built, so high, and it might be hard to stabilize that. So, like he just said, would some consideration be placed for just leaving the front entryway? It's made out of, like, I don't know if it's limestone or something like that, and it's similar to what's at the Temple building. They still have that structure up downtown. Would there be any consideration of maybe doing something like that? Because I think it would kind of represent not only the school and Joe Cannon, but all the people, especially the students and teachers that have walked through those doors. That'd be kind of an honor to leave that there, just to represent everyone who's walked through that school and got a good education.
Okay.
But
thank you.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Any other comments? That brings us to item number 6, mandated reporters for Abused and Neglected Child Report Act. Who's doing it?
I'll do it.
I'm signed.
I think that we're just saying that we need all of the Board of Education to sign and acknowledge that they are mandated. Oh, I don't have glasses on. Did y'all see me do this? To sign and acknowledge that you are mandated reporters. What's that?
Okay. We will take care of that. And that has been distributed, and that is mandatory. Item number 7, fee increase for officials at Northridge.
I guess I'm going to be doing all of these as my administrators had things to do this evening. Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Jacoby. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Schools. First item up, you're going to see me for a bit. Northridge, particularly Mr. Drew O'Connell, who is our wonderful athletic director at Northridge, is making the recommendation to the board that we have to increase our athletic official fees. We have not adjusted the fees since 2017. The high school made an adjustment 3 years ago. The fee increase is essential because we need to attract officials to do our refereeing for our different sports. They are, and you have a schedule in front of you, baseball and softball going from $50 for one game, $70 for two games, up to $60 for one game, $90 for two games. Basketball increased from $70 for two games to $90 for two games. Volleyball, $65 for two games is what we currently do. We'd like to increase it to $85, and it is recommended that the board accept us increasing. It's already been built into our tentative budget for the following 22-23 school year, and I can answer any questions at this time.
No, but entertain a motion for increasing our fees for our officials.
So move.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Will that put us in competitive with?
That would
Okay.
place us
Around
competitively
us.
with other schools that
Okay.
hire the officials, yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna add, this is very necessary. Having several officials that are patients. There are several officials that, a lot of the officiating, are leaving officiating. Okay, I know, they're leaving it, for various reasons. So it's gonna be even more competitive to get officials that are good, because you might be able to get some, but you need good officials, because if you've ever been to a game, you don't wanna hear the people in the crowd, "You're a bum." So, we need really good officials, and they need to be compensated. So,
Yeah.
I'm all for this.
Yeah, I agree. I started basketball refereeing in 2008. I haven't done it in the last year or so, but
You can come out of retirement.
no.
We might
No.
need you, Mr. Research.
No.
He said that really fast.
But
Yeah.
Sportsmanship
You
is
didn't think about it.
probably one of the most important things we can teach kids in this day and age that we're in, where we don't see as much of it as we would like. So, it sounds great to me. I'm glad it's coming in line.
Okay, well, let's find out how we vote. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Mrs. Carey?
Yes.
Mrs. Dragish?
Yes.
Dr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, the motion passes 6-0. That was for the increase for Northridge officials.
Thank you.
That brings us to item number, is it 8?
8.
Yes.
8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 8. 8. Increase in admission fees for IHSA events.
This is a recommendation brought to you by Mr. Mark Bases, who is the athletic director at Danville High School. He's done extensive research. Mr. Bases actually wanted to bring a price increase several years ago, and he believes right now that we've reached a point, we haven't had an admission cost, and this is not for referees. This is for the price of admission coming into our IHSA and athletic events. We haven't had an increase in 10 years. He did a lot of research that the other Big 12 conference schools charge $5. We currently only charge $3 for each adult that comes in. And right now, our current cost for students is $2. What he's recommending is that we increase $5 per adult, $3 per student, and $3 for anyone 65 or older or kids under 5, and that we continue that all District 118 employees attend for free. Additionally, he would like to add that he wants to do a family pass for all athletic events. Like, it covers everything for $100 up to a family of 4. So it's very economical. And again, you have the survey results for other schools and what they do charge. We are a little bit behind, but it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the admission fee increase in the fall of 2022 for all Danville High School athletic events.
Okay, I have before you a motion for admission fee increase. May I have,
So move.
thank you. A second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. for admission fee increases. Who is the recipient of these monies? Is it the IHSA or is it our athletic program?
Well, we use it's our athletic program, but we use those funds to provide sectional, like it's how we pay our refs if we hold a section. I mean, the fund is circular as far as it. IHSA and entrance fees go back into the events, and like that's how we build our fund for, like I said, referees, things like that. And Mr. Bases isn't here, and he could probably tell you exactly what they're all used
No, that's
for.
okay. That was good enough. That kind of gives me an idea. Okay, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Strider?
Yes.
Mr. Easter?
Yes.
Mr. Tyler?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
Yes, motion passes 6-0 for admission fee increases.
Thank you.
Item 9, if I can get back up there, because I knew that was 8. Oh, IHSA membership renewal, my favorite.
Okay, this has nothing to do with fees, believe it or not. This is our annual renewal for Danville High School to be a part of the IHSA, Illinois High School Association. There is no membership fees at this level. We just need to have the board sign that you agree that we should be a part of the Illinois High School Association and observe all of the IHSA regulations included. And this is our renewal. We do this every year, and this is for 22-23.
I move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the IHSA membership, right? Just
This
plain
is
old
just to be a
membership.
member of IHSA, yes.
Membership, no money?
No money.
They got us somewhere else though, didn't they? Nothing's
Right
free.
now, the
Look, folks, there's
IHSA Board of
nothing free.
Directors has not made a recommendation to charge schools
Okay.
membership fees.
Well, I'm in. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Tyler?
Yes.
Mr. Strider?
Yes.
Mr. Easter?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Dr. Ash?
For the first time ever, yes. Motion passes 6-0. I've had some IHSA problems in the past. So,
Me too.
but this year I'm kumbaya and I'm in.
Because it's free.
What?
Because it's free.
Yeah, well, it helped. It helped that it's free, but no, they've done some positive things this year that I'm happy for. Item 10, suspension of school registration fees. I see a motif here.
I believe I'm going to speak on this as well. For the
You're
past,
on a roll, what the heck?
what I'm up here.
Yeah.
For the past, I believe, 3 years, the district and the board have understood what the pandemic strain put on our families, and we knew that people were struggling with income, jobs, the sickness. Basically, you've waived registration fees the last couple of years, and our families have been very appreciative. While it looks as though, hopefully, pandemic days are behind us, we know that some of our families are still struggling. So we are bringing the recommendation again for next school year, 22-23, that the board waive the and that's registration fees. And I want to be very, very specific about that. That does not include driver's education and any extracurricular fees. This is the typical fees we charge to register in the district, and we're bringing it to the board to waive them.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for the suspension of school registration fees. Any questions or comments? I'm going to reiterate, pandemic may not be over, but okay.
I'm putting out the
Yeah, I
positive
understand.
vibe.
I understand. But certainly, I'm going to agree with you that the results of it and the ramifications are lingering. So therefore, I see why this would be a great idea. Also, inflation, all sorts of things. It's been a rough economical year, and it probably is not going to be in the future for the next 12 months a great outlook also. So anything that we can do to help our community out, I certainly welcome. So I appreciate this. Any other comments or questions?
I just wondered why we ever had fees in the first place. Do you know what they use the money for?
Fees typically are charged, and I can speak specifically secondary education courses cost money to run. So if you have, a lot of times fees were charged so that we had supplies for art, sciences, those pieces. Registration at the elementary level is a one flat, so at the secondary level, it's based on courses per se, whereas at the elementary level, it's a one flat fee. That fee was again used for supplies students might need. Historically, Mr. Easton, that's typically what those monies went to.
We certainly can have that discussion in the future. Okay? It'd be welcome to have. But tonight, we're looking at suspending school registration fees for the 22-23. We have a motion on the floor. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank
You're not
you.
here. Yeah, you're done. Thank you, Dr. Jacoby. Item 11, Human Resources. Summer school staffing. It's almost time for summer school?
It is almost time. Good evening, Kimberly Papps, Director of Human Resources. Nice to see you all. I feel like I've not been up here forever. Tonight's pretty simple. What we're looking for is for summer school. We are ready to start posting for our staff to teach our students. And we have one position that we call interventionists that can be filled by both teacher and TA. They are teaching the curriculum. We would like the rate to be the $30 rate. It's $30 an hour for compensation. And that's what we're asking for this evening. Currently, it is a $30 rate for teachers in our contract. We are looking for $30 rate for interventionists that can be both teacher and TA.
Okay. We don't need to do anything for this, do we? We
Oh,
do?
it should say recommendation.
Yeah.
And the recommendation, as it states, is only for the 22 school year for this summer.
It's not recommendation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
bring it
it,
back.
it's MOA.
Okay.
Are we good?
All right.
Question?
Yeah.
What will the interventionist do in the summertime? Is it
Correct. So
different
what
than
they've
the school
done,
year?
yes, and then we've had interventionists. Last year has been just a couple years, haven't we, Mary Ellen? And they do the small group instruction. They take the curriculum. They are teaching the students what is in what the small group instruction is from our curriculum books. Do you want anything else to add on that? I mean, they're teaching.
Yeah.
They're teaching the curriculum to the students in smaller groups, and they're planning for it too. So they're not just coming in and helping the teacher out. It is they are the person. They're the one planning it and delivering it to the students.
The small group instruction.
It's small group instruction, yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're ready for it. We're ready to start posting and get these teachers.
What was the price before? What were they?
It is, right now the contract is $30 for certified staff members, and it's an hour. So we want to make sure that this also covers the interventionists that can be TAs for this position for summer school.
And they weren't doing it before?
We have done it in the past, yes.
Okay.
We just want the compensation to be written and able to pay for no confusion.
I think the question is, what did we pay in the past?
Last year, what was it? It was 25 and 20, it was 25 and 21 for the supportive service rate.
Okay.
Seems like forever ago, and it was just a few months ago. So, all right, thank you very much. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brings us to item number 12. A. In curriculum, new course offerings for Danville High School. Music technology.
Good evening, board. This is a recommendation tonight to adopt the music technology curriculum. A year-long course.
Move approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion is to approve the music technology course. Any questions or comments? Awesome. You better approve it. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
what I figured.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. That was music technology. Thank you. 12A2, English language, English course.
I have a special guest golden ruler star here to help me tonight. Yes. So, Ms. Kaczewski and I are here to ask for your consideration for a first reading to create a new course that will allow our students that need ESL supports to get an English credit ESL class.
And this is a first reading.
Yes.
I wondered about this. How many students do you think will take advantage of this if you had to guess?
So it gets a little tricky. The students don't really get the option for the class, which is also why we're proposing to change it to English credit as opposed to their current credit of elective credit. Students that have another language in the home other than English are required by law to be screened to determine if they need those support services. So once they are screened and they do qualify for those support service, we as a district are obligated to provide those services, which we do. The parents then can always choose to pull the students from services, but the students get placed into that class based on their scores, and then they get progress monitored, and there's a yearly assessment each year in January. So currently, right now, when we offer those services to the students, they receive an elective credit, and we don't really feel that's necessarily fair because they're not electing to go into it. And the purpose of the class is to help them with their English language proficiency, and we focus a lot on writing and reading those domains specifically. So it really makes more sense to provide them with English credit while they're building those English language skills.
How many,
So not just any.
How many students do you think that would be?
We have roughly about 25 to 30 students at the high school any given year.
Has that been static or is it going up and down or?
Every year we go up and down, and it just depends. Like, well, we have a big group of ninth graders coming in, or so have you. But this is probably my 10th or 11th year, and the last 3 years or so, we've stayed about this rate at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we never see like two, it's always a reasonable number, right?
Correct. Yes, at the high school. Elementary buildings are different, K through 4, because they're a little bit more spread out. But when we move into our student centers, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through 12, where they're all together, you'll see the larger numbers because of that.
And we already have ESL staff in
Yes.
place at all these buildings. And
Yes.
and as I understand it, there are multiple different languages in the homes that these kids are speaking, not just
Absolutely.
one. So your ESL staff are dealing with a whole broad group of people and then bringing these kids together in one class, which
Absolutely,
is pretty
absolutely. We
neat.
range any given year anywhere between 15 and 18 different languages. But with that being said, many of those, Spanish by far is our largest population with a good probably 95%. Some of those other languages are just 1 or 2. Our Arabic population is up a little bit, but still less than 10. You know what I mean? So by far, Spanish is our largest language. What we do usually see any given year range between 15 and 18 languages.
Yeah, I got in trouble for calling it English as a second language. They say it's not called that anymore. What's it called? I forget.
So they change a little bit, but usually right now you'll just usually see EL for English learner.
Learner, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
The state does a lot with different words.
They like to do that to us.
Learner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very good.
Great, that's a great idea.
I have to always keep
I
changing.
hope we approve it next time.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, Avid.
Yes. And as you saw, the lovely folks here, both of them are AVID trained. We would like to continue our fabulous system of training AVID folks and bring in AVID Path training here to Danville on August 1st and 2nd for our teachers. We haven't opened up the training to other states, other AVID schools, and they will pay us to come, and that money can kind of get recouped to pay for some of this. So we are asking for your permission to offer it again. We've done it in the past, and we already have several people interested in attending this.
Good.
And the money will come out of Esser.
Title Esser?
And we budgeted for it. We budgeted for it.
Okay, and for the fee, was it, the price here is?
Yes.
101,000?
101,000, and if we don't get enough registrants in a particular session, then that session will be dropped and the price would go down.
Okay. So, this is an action item, so I would need your recommendation is to approve this for Avid training. May I have a motion from somebody?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second for Avid Path Training Contract for $101,000 and $150. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Terry?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Allen?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreider?
Yes.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Dr. F?
Yes, motion passes 6-0. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brings us to item 13, 13A, Boys and Girls Club After School Program Grant. And you have a recommendation for us.
Yes, I do. Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Geddes. I'm Kelly Truex, Director of Educational Support Programs. And I am recommending that we apply for the after-school program grant, and we partner with the Boys and Girls Club for this summer. This grant will be $110,575, and it will be utilized to provide supplies, technology, and services to our District 118 students at the Boys and Girls Club this summer.
Okay, and so this is an action item. I would love to have a motion from someone for it.
I move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the Boys and Girls After School, Boys and Girls Club After School, not after school, but after school program grant. Any questions or comments?
Will the Boys and Girls Club hire the instructors for this program?
It is their staff.
Their staff?
Yes. We manage, this is a little different than the service agreements. My office will manage like POs for supplies and things like that. But it will be their staff.
And what accountability do we have for evaluative purposes?
Well, they also provide us with attendance, and they have to, I think they do grades, or they do some kind of an intervention thing that they have to provide to the buildings when summer is over for the kids that have been there. It's just a monitoring piece like all the others, where they are required to send us those things.
Then it goes back to their home school, so
Yes,
their new
it goes to their
teachers-
home school.
Okay.
Mhm. And I believe the home school sends their report cards there too, like through the school year.
Are they bused there?
They are bused there after school. Now, not during the summer. I don't believe we bus them during the summer, do we? No. Not to the, well, after summer school we do. If they go to summer school.
Until summer school ends.
Right, until summer school ends, we do.
And about how many students do you think will do this?
He thinks that he will have around 100 students this year.
That's good.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? See none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mrs. Holler?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreider?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Terry?
Yes.
Dr. Ashton?
Yes, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 14, policies, our favorite.
So I'll do this part, and Ms. Rankin will come up and do the second part, when we talk about establishing the fund for the convenience account. We first, per our attorney, need a policy which allows us to establish this. And so we're offering for first reading the policy that was given to us by the attorney for the purpose of the convenience account.
Okay.
This is first reading, but description says motion and roll call.
Yeah.
No, for the policy, 14A?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has a, but we have to do see, it does say.
First reading. My printout actually does not say that, see?
Mm-hmm.
It says first reading.
I understand that, but.
It's first reading.
It's first reading.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We've seen that. Any questions? Okay. I think that's good. Policy? Business, finance, let's do that. 15A, resolution to, you done, right?
I'm done.
Okay, 15A, resolution to adopt the
Was it first
participation.
reading? It's a first reading.
Oh, it's no action. Okay.
Yeah. First reading, disregard the motion.
Okay.
Resolution to adopt the participation agreement for the TRS Supplemental Savings Plan. And you'll have a recommendation probably for that.
Yes.
Okay. Explain it to
Good
us.
evening, Board, Dr. Geddes, D118 family. I am Narcissus Rankin, Director of Business and Finance. So in August of 2018, there was Public Act 100-76-769 that enacted Section 16204 of the Illinois Pension Code, which enabled the implementation of TRS's Supplemental Savings Plan. So the resolution that's been presented to the board today authorizes the adoption of the new plan that TRS is now requiring employers to adopt. So the TRS Supplemental Savings Plans is going to be an additional savings benefit for TRS members. So it is in addition to their regular retirement. It'll be a 457B is what it'll be. So while it is optional for the members to participate, the statute requires employers to implement this benefit plan for the members. So that is what the recommendation is for. And the board's attorneys recommend that we adopt the resolution now so that it gives the district, the authority to sign the agreement with TRS, which will allow members, our employees, to participate in the plan if they should so choose. So this evening, I am recommending that the board accept the resolution to adopt the TRS Supplemental Savings Plan.
Okay, we're adopting a participation agreement for that, in
Yes.
that plan.
In order for the members to participate, we have to have the agreement signed and submitted, yes.
Okay. That's what she would like. We do have a motion to adopt that.
So move.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is this where the tiers, is this where they're the newer ones and they can take?
It's not, it doesn't even, all the members will have this, we have the opportunity to
everyone
elect
will,
to use
okay.
this. Because it's just another form of a retirement plan, so it's a 457B.
Okay, so even, this is on top of my retirement?
Yes,
That I'm
and-
already paying into?
Yes.
Okay. all
It's
right.
supplemental, yes ma'am.
Okay.
It costs us nothing.
No, it does not.
Yes, it doesn't cost us anything. It all depends on how you take that. Just for everybody out there, this is costing us, the district, nothing. This
Because
is offering this plan.
It's an optional additional benefit for the staff,
Right.
TRS members.
State employees
yes.
have had this plan for 20-plus years, so it's kind of interesting that it's taken.
I'm sorry.
I said state employees have had this plan for 20-something years, so it's interesting it's taken this long for them to get it.
Yeah,
Teachers, they should have had it a long time ago.
Okay, any other questions or comments? We're voting on whether to adopt the participation agreement with TRS for supplemental savings plan. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes 6-0. Okay,
Thank you.
no, thank you. 15B, intergovernmental agreement with the city of Danville for school resource officers. Good
Thank
evening.
you. Good evening. John Hart, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Education. Tonight I have before you the two agreements. The first one is the School Resource Officer Agreement with the City of Danville. It is something that we've had in place for many years with the Police Department, with the City of Danville, and nothing has really changed. It's a 180-day agreement with our 3 SROs. We have an SRO full-time at the high school, a half-time at the high school, half-time at Bailey Academy, and one that is full-time at Northridge. So this is 180 days of salary and benefits. The only difference between this agreement and the agreement we had in the past, if you remember a couple months ago, Chief Yates came and talked about the officer worn body camera, and that is a part of this agreement. And it's basically that the school resource officers do wear body cameras, but they are not activated unless it's a criminal activity. So to have a conversation, it's not recorded, it's not, it's saved in any manner, only if there's a criminal activity in any of our schools. So I recommend your approval.
Thank you. So I would entertain a motion for intergovernment agreement for the City of Danville resource officers.
Move to approve.
Thank you. And a second. And I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
And do we have enough resource officers? Is that something that I mean, you've been working with this agreement. I know I don't know if you're the person to put on the spot about that, but it's maybe an important question.
I think it's, from my seat, it's a little different perspective than it is from a principal's seat. And I'm not sure that a principal would agree with me at this point. I feel that we have substantial, but again, I mean, really the answer comes from your administrators who, have larger buildings and know what's going on with some of the students. So a tough question for me to answer. How's that?
Sorry for putting you on the
That's
hot seat
okay.
with that.
What school year does this cover?
Pardon me?
What school year does this agreement cover?
This covers the school year 21-22.
Thank you.
I'll be
So
bringing the
that-
22-23 to you in July.
I'm glad we'll be covered for about a month and a half or two here, so. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Ashton.
It's my pleasure.
Dr. Geddes.
We're inside.
Okay.
What'd you say?
She'd like you to repeat your answer?
21-22, that's what this agreement's for. The school year 21-22.
This year.
So you have to bring it back to us for 22, 23?
Yes, that in July.
Okay.
We'll be bringing it back for the next year.
Hopefully we'll have it then. Okay. If there aren't any other questions or comments, we're voting on the agreement with the city for school resource officers. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 6-0. Item 15C, agreement with the Vermillion County Sheriff on reciprocal reporting.
And this is something that we typically bring at the same time. This has been signed by the Vermillion County Sheriff's Department in September. So we've had this. This is an agreement that we have between the Sheriff's Department and District 118 in reporting crime. So it's a reciprocal agreement. Anything that would happen with any of our students, this allows us to share information and hopefully be able to prevent anything from escalating within our schools.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion for the agreement with the Vermillion County Sheriff for reciprocal reporting.
Move approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Halloran. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments?
Yes. There, as I understand it, there can sometimes be a real difference between school code and standard law. And is this designed to help smooth the relationship between those two bodies of regulation?
It really is, and a lot of times, we'll, if somebody was arrested for, out in the community and it was something that was heinous, so they may share that with us. We've had outside school cameras pick up a car that may not even be related to the school, but that way we can share that information, and it's just a lot easier. It really makes the process run much more smoothly.
So the Sheriff's Department signed their part of the agreement in September. Has it in fact been in effect since September, since this is April?
Well, this is actually a 2-year agreement, so we really didn't have to. We typically bring them in the same time, all these. So we've had this one back since September, but we were still under an agreement with the Vermillion County Sheriff's Department.
And it is your opinion, I think I heard, that in fact it is a helpful tool.
It is very helpful, very helpful.
And we actually did not have to bring this particular one, but our attorneys recommended keep them together.
Just keep them together. It's
make sure
Right.
it gets done.
So does it come again in July?
It will.
Okay.
It will come again in July, yes.
Okay.
We'll just keep recommending it.
But
Why not?
again, this signature from the Vermillion County Sheriff's Department was from the 14th of September.
Okay. All right, if you're voting on the intergovernmental agreement with the Vermillion County Sheriff for reciprocal reporting, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Easton?
Yes.
Mr. Carey? Mr. Carey?
Abstain.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Strider?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Dr. Ashley?
Yes, motion passes 5, 1 abstention, no nays. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Item number 16A, summer refresh from Tech. What do you have for us? What do you want from us?
You know me, spending money. Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, Annette Hummel, Director of Technology. Today, we're going to, recommendation for the 2022 summer refresh. This is what we do every year to replace our computer equipment. This year, we're doing 50 desktops, 228 laptops, and 250 Chromebooks. And our counts are lower this year thanks to a lot of ESSER funds that we've received. So we've already replaced a lot of the equipment that we needed to. So this year, our quotes from IT Savvy again, they always manage to get us the lowest quote. And with the hardware deployment services, lease price and warranty, total cost is $418,041.59. $379,780.21 will come out of Title I funds, which will leave $38,261.38 out of the local budget. And so this will be for the 22-23 financial year. So it is recommendation that we approve the budget.
Okay.
So move. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second for approval of our summer refresh technology program here for $418,000 and change.
$41.59. Yep.
Something like that. Okay, and it's budgeted, right?
We budget every year for this.
Okay, so
This
this
is
is
the laptops and Chromebooks are on a 4-year rotation, and desktops are on a 5-year rotation.
just for those tuning in for the first time. We do this routinely, and this is to keep our technology fresh and keep current. The question that someone always asks is the availability. These are already contracted, and units will be available, or are we going to find out if they're available? I laugh because I have the same problem.
Skip understands. Technology is still a little bit on the back burner, so which is why we come as early as we do now, so that we can get those orders in and get the first dibs.
Because if people don't understand, a lot of this happens over the summer because a lot of these things need to happen so that we're ready in August when school starts.
Exactly.
So if these machines come in September like we did when we were going remote and we didn't have enough machines, it was a very difficult situation getting caught up while we're trying to catch up.
Yeah.
So
and the less disruption in the classrooms. I mean, we want to avoid that as much as possible.
Okay. So there's a lot happening in the summer, like finishing all the building projects, the tech things. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen this summer, and we're just hoping that the Amazon trucks show up on time and bring us our things.
There you go.
It's not Amazon for everybody, but it comes from somewhere else. Any other questions or comments?
I just had a question. I noticed these are i5 processors. Somebody's keeping their eyes open for stuff that goes to students who need stuff that goes faster than that.
So we continue to look out for that and get an upgrade, and we kind of just look at the needs. I mean, there's no sense in buying these huge elaborate ones when they're not needed.
These are just basic level ones then. Someone's watching out for
So
the people
yes,
who
and
use
so we
Adobe.
determine the need depending on who's doing what job.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Well, even teachers, I mean, I wouldn't use an i5 ever. And I mean, I understand they work for the internet, but that's about as much as they do.
So we are working. Yeah, we
Okay.
look into these though.
Every student has access to a Chromebook or a device Is
Yes.
that true?
Yes. So we are officially 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
Mhm.
And how is that in terms of tracking those devices for our students?
So our inventory system, so we are working on our, so we inventory everything and it gets associated to the school and to the student. So as we determine what Chromebooks go to what school, then they will get assigned to the student individually. And so the plan, what we do is we have those checked back in at the end of the school year, check for anything, and then we will reassign them at the beginning of the school year.
Is your return rate good?
We're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Fair enough.
And we've always wondered about that. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? And we wish you luck with that.
Yeah.
It's we know. Okay, we're voting on summer refresh, $418,000 and $419,000 is the most. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 6-0. Thank you. Okay, informational items
So, I wanna get
and
back,
comments if you want at the same time.
I'll do information first. Mr. Easton, you wanted me to get back to you on graduation numbers with suspending the additional 11.5 credits. To remind everyone, the board actually did suspend those credits at our October 6th meeting, which encompassed us being able to suspend the PE requirement for graduation. Students were still enrolled, but we wouldn't hold them back from graduating. You voted to suspend the 11.5 additional elective credits. To remind you that the state board only requires one elective. Danville District 118 requires 11.5. You suspended the 7-semester enrollment expectation for graduation because we do have students who finish earlier, and so we just were able to let them graduate. And then we suspended the science and social studies requirement of 1 extra semester. The state only requires 4, we were requiring 5. And based upon that, based upon what you did then, we have 15 students who graduated early because of the suspended graduation requirements. We have 47 students who will qualify for graduation under the suspended graduation requirements. And then we have 25 additional students who are able to graduate now because of what you have done. And that is just those numbers, so I think that's what it was, 87?
87.
Will students, because of those additional, the things you did in October, they will be able to graduate as long as everybody does what they need to do for the second semester. Like somebody could get crazy and not show up or, decide to go off the rails, but, yep, 87 students will be able to graduate.
Thank you.
Any questions about that? Just wanted to get back to you on that.
Thank you.
So for my comments, I want to congratulate our Northridge Middle School resource officer today, Officer Long. He was awarded the Hero of the Month by D102, and he was nominated by Whitney Spencer, who was a special education teacher at Northridge. So congratulations, Officer Long. Our Danville High School orchestra and band students, they were performing at Disney over the spring break, and they marched in the Magic Kingdom Parade. And the orchestra played publicly on the waterfront stage at Disney Springs. They had the opportunity to attend a workshop on music production for live action and animated films, and we are very proud of how they represented us. The OIE committee would just like everyone to know, we want to continue to get a perspective on the cell phone policy during the day. So if you have not taken that survey, parents, please do so. And I can tell you, what we are finding that our parents want varies very differently from board policy and what is in the OIE. And so somewhere we're going to have a meeting of the minds, because right now parents overwhelmingly are saying they want access to their kids at all times during the day, which is different from them having to put them away. So we have a big disconnect in our district, and we're going to have to find a middle ground. Thank you.
That it?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let's go back to the right, all the way down to Mr. Easton.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say was, I had two things. I followed a school bus not by choice because I was stuck behind it while it was doing its business. I just want to thank all the school bus drivers. I know you have probably one of the most thankless jobs in America. So if you're listening, thank you. I know you've saved me a lot of time in my life as a parent, and I know I speak for others who are grateful for what you do. Then the other thing I wanted to say was I was at a parent-teacher conference last night, and I know I was at a high school one. I have to go to another one Thursday at middle school. I would encourage our parents to show up and thank their teachers, because this is like, even if your kids are doing really great or they're, maybe they're not, or maybe you're busy, I don't know what it is, but we didn't have very many people in that building at all. It was sort of like a ghostly prison almost, it looked like, because it was nighttime and raining. I just encourage you to go and tell your kids you're proud of them. They need to hear that from you, and your teachers need to know who you are too. So that's not a sermon, that's just an opinion from me. That's all.
I just want to offer our sympathy to the family of the former football coach at Danville High School, Nate Cunningham. Coach Cunningham was both a coach and a teacher at the high school. And I worked with him a number of years at the high school, and he, retired and has been in the community. But we just want to say to the family that we are thinking about you and praying for you, and that I'm sure that there are a number of players out there that remember him, even students, when you were at the high school and Coach was there. So we just want to offer our condolences to the family. I also want to just go back and say to the future problem solvers, and to Ms. Woods especially, because she has done, to me, a remarkable job. I remember when she was doing both middle school and high school, and the students that rise to occasion. I agree with you, Chris. We always have a small, and I know that from being a principal, small numbers in the spring for parents coming out to parent-teacher conference. But it doesn't make it, the idea does not make it any less. Staff still wants to see parents in the building. And it's the same thing as I said before, when we had all the parents in here about masks and complaining. Let's get into the buildings and ask questions and check with teachers and see what's going on with your child, because as we know, they don't always come home and say everything. So we need them. We need parents to come to parent-teacher conference.
I wanted to congratulate Southview on their incredible musical that they put out. Those kids were fantastic, and I know that it was The Wizard of Oz, and it was quite a production. I've done a lot of children's theater, and sometimes it's like, oh, they were great. No, these guys were really great, and I'm really proud of Mrs. Prunkert and her team, and the 4 teachers that I think, how long did they rehearse? Months, right? And these kids some of them were just amazing. I hope that it's been taped somewhere and that some folks can get a peek of it, because it was quite a sight to behold. And I also want to acknowledge the Northridge the music department. They had their spaghetti dinner and auction on Friday and Saturday. It was last weekend. It was the same thing. It was all arts all weekend. And had an opportunity. It was my first chance to see the Redcoats. And having been a Redcoat mom for many years, I was really impressed with what Mrs. Woodrow was able to do with those students. And Jericho Mankis, who was a former Redcoat who came back to help teach. There were none of those kids had any middle school show choir experience. They were all, and there was no charge for those students to be part of that. They were really, really good. And I also was very impressed at how the group of students really reflected the demographics of the school and the community. And I was so proud of those kids. I was so proud of them, and I'm hoping to see more of that. And I loved the fact that we were able to do this without an audition. If the kids wanted to be a part of it, they could, without experience and for free. That is a major shift in the program, and it was successful, and I was really proud of them and glad to see it.
Just to piggyback a little bit, congratulations to the future problem solvers. That group of kids and Miss Woods really give Danville a good name, not only here in Danville and especially with their local project, but internationally. We are known for what our kids do, and that makes me very proud. I believe congratulations goes to the Northeast Archery team. They had several members that went to state. I don't really have a follow-up on that, but congratulations to those biddies for doing.
Second place in the elementary division.
Second place. That's amazing. Congratulations to those kids. Just to also piggyback on something Ms. Schrader said, I attended several of the show choir competitions for the high school, and it was so obvious to me about the representation of our kids on stage. We were up against a lot of powerhouse schools, and our school was a diverse group of kids that really got along and really performed so well. And other than the Decatur schools, we were the only two schools that had that diversity in our groups. And I noticed it, and it made me very proud of our programs.
I'm just echoing everybody, the hard work of our students and our staff as we are trying to recover from this pandemic and all that has been involved with helping to make that happen. And I know we're moving forward, and I'm glad that we are moving forward. And again, just thank all of the teachers, administrators, the parents, everyone that has been working. And I'm glad that we are going to have an additional 80-some students graduating because of our agreement not to add extra requirements, but meeting all the state requirements of our students this year. So I just encourage everyone to continue to keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to first start off by giving our condolences to the family of Linda Bolton, who just passed away. A pillar in our community, WDAN. We can go through the whole litany of things for this, for the city and St. James and wherever else. I mean, her loss will be felt. So our prayers go out to that family.
Both Linda Boltons.
Both.
Will you come in?
Yeah. Pick a Linda Bolton.
Yeah.
The future problem solvers, ditto. They're awesome. They've done a lot of work. Hats off to them. Consistently year after year. So we certainly do appreciate them. Music groups. I won't keep us that long. We have a meeting coming up. When is the next one? On the 20th, is it? I think it is. So look forward to that. I want to thank you for your public comments this evening. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And hope everyone has a wonderful Easter. And with that, I will say we are adjourned.
School guidance counselor. She died first.